Hi everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to look at Google Drive and how we can use Google Drive to manage any of the files that we want to share with fellow instructors, fellow teachers, students, and even guardians or parents that might need some additional files or insights. Now, I'm logged in as the current instructor, instructor number 2, my favorite dragon instructor. And the way that you can do it is, of course, after you've logged in Chrome, it's quite easy. You can just click on this little button over here for Google Apps, the 9 little dots. And you can go down to Drive. And it just reopens it because I was already there. You can also just go to drive.google.com and log in if you're not using Chrome, if you're using a different browser. Now, to start off, we can create in our My Drive site over here. We'll talk about these things a little bit later on. We can create a new folder by clicking on the new button. But before I talk about this, first of all, well done Google. They give us 15 gigs. So think about this, 15 gigabytes of free storage online in the cloud with this user. If you get the paid for version for a user, I think it's like $5 a month or something, you get unlimited storage online. If you get Google for Business, and then every user is a paid for user. But on the free version, 15 gigs is not bad. So from here, we can say new over here and select folder. Or in this white space in the middle, I can right click and say new folder, like I would in a normal Explorer within Windows as well. So let's say I'm going to call the first one My Class 2020. And I click create. This has now created a new folder for me. I can simply double click on it to enter it. Now I can see I'm in my drive in My Class 2020. Currently there's nothing in it. But before I place anything in this, I know I've got a second instructor, a person that helps me, or a help instructor or additional instructor or whatever you want to call it, or just another teacher that needs access to this folder and maybe a collaborator. So I can click on this little button next to it, the downwards button, and say enter this share link over here. And my second instructor is Tiny Instructor 1. I want to give this instructor organize, add, and edit rights, potentially. Let's say, for instance, I don't. I just want him to view. Most of my classes he can view only, but certain folders I'm going to elevate his rights. So for now, let's make it can view only. I can add a note here. You have viewing rights. Congratulations. Maybe a better message would be better. But in any case, I can say send, and there's a shareable link that I can also get. But in any case, let's just say send for now. That instructor would receive an email, so it says shared with one person, and I get a little icon over here. If I hover over the icon, I can see that this is shared with someone. And if I click on sharing settings, it opens up this over here. It says shared with Tiny Instructor. It's really tiny. I mean, look at his icon. It's very small. And if I click on advanced, then suddenly I can see Tiny Instructor, myself, and Tiny 2 Instructor and Tiny Instructor currently have access to this. This instructor over here, my second instructor, only has view access. I can elevate it if I want to. I can even make him the owner, but then if I save this, he would be the owner, no longer myself. So that's a very dangerous thing to do. You have to really be careful of that one. You have to make an informed decision to do it. Otherwise, we can just elevate it if we want to. For now, I don't want to. And I can also change, and we'll get back to this a little bit later as well, I can also change who else might have access to this. Currently, only specific people. These two instructors are the only people, any files that I add into my class, only they would be able to see it. Tiny Instructor, this owl over here, will only view it in the Shared with Me section in Google Drive. I will see it, of course, in my drive. If I want to, I can add other people. I'm not going to do it yet. So let's just say done for now. And in here, let's create another folder. We'll call this one home language. It's one of the subjects I teach. Well, whatever your home language might be. It can be English, it can be Sutu, it can be Spanish, French, whatever your first language in school might be. We just thought we'll name it home language. That's created a folder for me. If I open up this folder, again, I get permissions for it. And I can see currently these two have access for it. So if I go sharing settings, I again get an advanced button. I like clicking the advanced button. And since I've done it, Tiny Instructor is also my assistant instructor, and he needs read-write access to it. So I basically give him read-write access, or as they call it, add and edit and organize access. And I can also change something else. I can say that although I give him read-write access, I don't want him to add new people or to just simply change access. So by clicking this, I can prevent him from giving access to other people. If I don't do this, he can give access to other people as well. And I say save. Once I've saved, I then know, you know what, I need some students in here. So I'm going to add student 1, student 2, and student 3. However, I don't want them with read access. They should only view their assignments that I'm going to post here. And I want to notify them that they now have access. So I can say send notification. Now my students, if I look at my access, they now have read access, and myself and Tiny have additional read-write access, basically. Let's say done for now. Now, earlier on, we said, we're just waiting for, well, the permissions are done. Earlier on, we said that we can also potentially create a folder that we can share with the outside world, like with parents. So let's create one, and we call this letters to parents. There we go, or guardians or whatever. And if we open this folder up, we can notice that the two instructors already have access to it because of Tiny Instructor's access for the My class, which is view. He also has view access to every sub folder in the hierarchy. If I now go to sharing settings, I can then say, you know what, let's click on advanced. I want to make this generally available for anyone to view that's got the link. So I can say change this to on, where it was off for only specific people. Now, anyone with the link, they don't need to sign in. If I mail them this link, they'll be able to, with this setting, view anything within this folder. So if I send them letters, they can view it, they can't delete anything, and it's a one-way street. I can share documentation and they can view the latest documentation from there. So I can press save on this folder now. I don't want to add the kids or the students here, so I'm just going to say done. And now my letters to parents, if I open this up, let's go back to the sharing link. I can then take this link, say copy link, and mail it to anyone. So if I go to my email, I can then say anyone at gmail.com. Let's not mail it to that one. It might actually be an email that exists. Hello, link as promised. And if I send this email to them, they'll then receive this. I can also, let's give it to the instructor, the other instructor, just as, so they have the link as well. I can also, with Google Mail, schedule the send because it's now quite late on a Friday evening. I don't want to send it to them on a Friday evening. I'm going to say schedule send this to be Monday morning at 8 a.m. or pick a date and time. So I can say, right, Monday morning, let's make it 07:30 a.m. And I say schedule send. Now it's only going to send this out on Monday morning. We've got a tab to the left that says scheduled. And if I want to change this, I can change it anytime. Or if I don't want to send it anymore, I can highlight it, say cancel send. Or I can potentially get rid of it if I want to edit it as well. So if I open it up, I can change the schedule send if I want to, or I can just cancel it from sending at all. But in any case, I think that's it for this. We don't really want to spend too much time on emails, rather Google Drive. So now I've created the folder structure in here, and I want you to grasp the concept that we can create a folder structure up until 15 gigs. Then you have to start paying or buying more storage, which you definitely can do. We can start creating folders and start creating access for various different people to these folders as well. But since we're logged in, it might have bugged you that there's at the bottom left corner a little icon that says Get Google Drive for Desktop. If I click download, it'll basically be like a local drive on my laptop. I'm going to close it, however, because if you closed it and you want to get access to it again, you can click the settings button. And from here, you can also select Get Drive for Desktop. So let's select that over there. And currently we have a personal method. So it says backup files from your computer, blah, blah, blah. Find on your computer and Google Drive and see your photos, etc. locally on your own devices. So I can say download Google Drive in that capacity. If you want to better manage it like a drive, then you'll have to get Google Drive File Stream for Business, but you'll have to up your account. Then it becomes a paid for account. But the advantage is great. You can then, for instance, open up any drive like this one over here. And like I've created this structure in my documents, you can imagine that I'm currently navigating through it, seeing various different files that I've added and changed and shared with people, getting assignments back. And because I've created a business Google Drive, I can edit my documents and view my documents like it is a local drive on my PC. Like you get a C drive, you'll basically just get a G drive for Google Drive. So it's definitely worthwhile getting Google Drive for business. Right now, we're not going to do it. So let's imagine we haven't done that. I'm going to go back to these two folders. Let's say home language, I'm just going to remove for now. I'm going to leave letter to parents. And I'm going to come back here with my folders on my drive, grade 1 to grade 12 and schedules. And I'm going to highlight this folder structure. Let's just say Control A on my keyboard and drag it here. And you see it says copy 13 folders. Because there's quite a bit of content, I'll have to wait a while. And as I release it, it says uploading 13 items. It's not really truly 13 items. It's 13 items and their subfolders. But as it starts creating this, I now have all my local drives that I've created locally on my machine. And you can see if I go into each of them, I've got my different subjects. I've got my various different terms. I've got the weeks that I'm currently expecting to work within these terms, activities and reading assignment and tests, etc. that I've planned out. And of course, once I've put it in here, I now have an easy way to manage, share the authorizations with various different people. The only thing, because it's not a paid for account, that I have to watch is that I don't run out of space. But if you do, not a problem. You can buy additional storage from Google. So this brings us to the end of the Google Drive concept. Please go and play with it a little bit. We're going to use this in the up and coming video for Google Classes, which is where for the Google Classroom that we want to get to. And after the Google Classroom, we'll be done with the Google Classroom or the Google toolsets itself for now, but we'll add new additional content every week. We're going to move on after this video to Google Classroom, and then we're going to start talking about the Discord tool. So see you later.